Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, here we go. Ash Wednesday is today and the beginning of Lent. I want you to know that I usually don't give up something for Lent, but I have decided to give up something for Lent, and that is I am going to do an extreme cutback on sugar. As much as I work out, I should even look even better than I already do. And I'm going to do that by cutting out sugar. Well, Trump's address at Congress was epic, was it not? I mean, was it absolutely not epic? I've done a Facebook Live about it. You've probably watched it. You don't need me to tell you what he said and what he did. But my theme of my Facebook Live was, it's hysterical what the Democrats cannot applaud. And Trump is feeling his oats, and he's delivering, and it was a wonderful pro-American, and he gets an A+ from me on theme, substance, and delivery. Good job, Mr. President. I'm glad you're in that position. Then Trump singled out Elon Musk and his work. And, you know, like he said, and I did a Facebook Live about this morning, that how wonderful that we have somebody so intelligent and so caring and so talented is Elon Musk checking how our government wastes freaking money. And this is amazing. Some of the examples, $22 billion, HHS provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens, $45 million for DEI in Burma, $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants, $8 million to promote LGBTQI in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of, $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America, $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. $32 million for left-wing operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's off the chart. Designated survivor, I always think this is interesting, was former Congressman Collins, the head of the VA. So if it all went down, he'd been our designated survivor. Honda announced that they're going to build the Civic in Indiana due to the tariff threat. Auto workers are applauding the tariff threat for obvious reasons. The Senate Democrats, every one of them, all 48 of them, actually voted against a bill that would put to rest no more biological boys playing female sports. Now, some of these people say, well, there's only 10 in the NCAA. It's 10 too many. And they refuse. 80% of Americans, I don't know what the other 20% are thinking, but 80% of Americans, try to find an issue where 80% of Americans agree. This is one. And these Senate Democrats just ignore it. I mean, they are the most self-destructive folks you'll find in political history right now. Sale of federal buildings. I didn't think about this. Trump is selling federal buildings that aren't needed anymore. You know, the only bad thing about all that they're uncovering with this waste is I just keep thinking about, my God, all the money they wasted all these years. And Zelensky sent a message to Donald Trump that he regrets what happened at the Oval Office Friday, and he's ready to make peace. And that includes the minerals deal. Trump said last night he's talking to Putin, and I expect that there will be a peace deal. I'm going to defend Zelensky for a minute, okay? This guy, all right, he may not be perfect. Hell, or some of you say he's a dictator and he's as bad as Putin, so forth and so on. I understand, and I cannot fathom the emotion, and the pent-up frustration that this man's been through. Probably needs to be cut a little bit of slack. And no matter what anybody says, Putin invaded Ukraine. And Joe Biden let it happen. Zelensky did not start the war. IRS cuts. They got like 8,000 workers. Are looking to cut about 4,000 or half the workforce. Yeehaw! All right, turning to local news, speaking of sale of federal buildings, the Peck building, which is across the street from the Potter Stewart Courthouse, in downtown Cincinnati is on the chopping block. I remember going over there for disability hearings and whatnot. 26,000 potholes the city of Cincinnati bragged that they repaired. Good for them. You get an attaboy. And Serena Owen doesn't show up for Ellesmere City Council meetings. Why did she even run? My good buddy Eric Bonzo's on this like green on grass. That makes no sense. She ought to resign. And Bristow Road, I caught a news report about this. I think it was Channel 12. And I thought to myself, I'm going to make fun of them and put it in my news. And here's why. We all travel this road out here in Independence. We already know what's going on. We don't need you to report it. But Thursday, they're putting in the concrete beams for the bridge down along Bristow Road before you get to the Cane Farm. Kentucky State Police, 2 officers were indicted for violating someone's rights. And Sheriff Steins, he's the Letcher County Sheriff who shot and killed Judge Mullins, he's pleading insanity now. I still don't understand that we're led to believe this has something to do with the guy's daughter, and we don't know those facts yet. Find it very odd. In world news, the Alaska pipeline that they want to work on some more, Japan and South Korea are willing to join the United States in that endeavor. And the Panama Canal, great news. You know, I'm not a big fan of BlackRock, but BlackRock for about $20 billion plus are buying from a Hong Kong company the 2 ports at both ends of the canal. So at least we have an American-based company, although it's a very big international company, American-friendly company that's going to help us maintain control of the Panama Canal. And they released a list of tariffs that have been put against the United States by candidates. Pretty remarkable. Trump said last night he expects some deals to be made on these tariffs. In sports, NKU beat Detroit last night. I forgot whether or not Xavier beat Butler. I apologize, I don't know. FC Cincinnati tied 1-1. University of Kentucky smoked LSU. LSU's only won like 3 games in the SEC, 95-64, senior night. Saquon Barkley is now the highest paid running back in the NFL. They extended his contract. Auburn fell to Texas A&M. That's a big loss. And LeBron James is the first NBA player to hit 50,000. And Kyrie Irving is out for the rest of the year. The Mavericks, talk about the Mavericks. They trade Luka for Anthony Davis. Davis gets hurt. Now he's gone. Bad year. And Sam Darnold is not going to be signed by the Minnesota Vikings. In pop culture, this scares the hell out of me because my son has too many tattoos. Tattoos could cause cancer. I got 1 tattoo, and I wish I never had it. Sabrina, how many tattoos do you have? 9. All right. And there's apparently a secret, I don't know if it's secret anymore if we know about it, Vatican book that talks about the end of the world. And you know what year this book, according to St. Malachi, claims the end of the year is going to be? 2027. So you got 2 years, Sabrina, to enjoy life. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner were captured, hugging it out, doing a paintball event, I think, for one of their son's 14th birthday. Look at Ben hold her. There was one picture where his hand was a little too low. How would you like to be her girlfriend and have Ben Affleck always around? I hope they get back together. Got a couple history for you, some history stories. The Boston Massacre occurred today in 1771, I think. 70, 5 years before the revolution really started. And you know who precipitated this? The rebels. And the British, of course, were found not guilty by John Adams. But this was a spark plug to unite the colonies and lead to revolution. And Stalin dies today in history at age 73. Why do I put this up there? Kind of a funny story. Stalin said, no matter what you hear in my bedroom, you do not come in. Well, lo and behold, guess what? He died of a heart attack, and nobody came to take care of him because they weren't allowed in his room. So Stalin's policy might have led to his death. And your Shakespeare insult of the day is, I love this one. Do not be, I love them all actually, but I really like this one. Do not be an incestuous mewling prig. An incestuous mewling prig. Every dog has their day. I hope today is yours.